podcast, and we decided we'd talk about residencies this time because I'd been on one, my first one ever.
We want to hear all about it.
My first thought is, Tania, you said you were going on a residency, and then you put pictures on Instagram stories of what looked like a chateau with a wedding venue and palatial gardens and a vineyard or something. So I said, are you there with 20 other artists doing residencies? And you said, no, just us. So I need to hear more about, was the whole place your own, or how much space was for you? And
this place had about 4 or 5 apartments inside a kind of medieval chateau. It had its own church as well that they encouraged us to go and meditate in. But it was also used as a wedding venue because it was a vineyard. It had its own wines, which it produced from the vineyard. There was a shop hidden away somewhere tastefully in this chateau where you could go and buy the wine. So it had all this going on, but in low season, i.e. before April, beginning of April, they could offer out these rooms to people to come on residencies. So the woman who'd been before me was a writer called Dorrit, a fiction writer, and the woman before that was a burlesque dancer, I think, or something like that, body positive burlesque dancer who'd gone there to do some writing, some retreat writing about a course or so. So they had very general acceptance terms, and that's the interesting thing about residencies. They are so broad and so different in terms of what they're looking for.
Are they always free to the artist, the residency?
Or did you pay a little bit?
This one we had to pay a little bit, but it's like setting up filters in booking.com. You can decide what you want to do and what you're not prepared to do. So for me, I'm a bit of a commitment phobe. And plus I didn't really know what I wanted to do except just start drawing again. So I was like, I'll pay a bit to not promise you anything.
Yeah.
That's the kind of deal I wanted. And I didn't want to be with other people or go to artist dinners on the Friday nights. It's these really organised ones. Some are very famous residency places like Naples in the south of France, where you're in this beautiful chateau. People have dedicated studio space with lots of different disciplines, and they'll all meet and have interactive artist sessions. They'll leave work for their host. They'll do an exhibition. So there's other commitments. And those ones, some of those can be fully funded as well, which is to artists' ears, particularly fine artists. This is amazing that you can have a stipend for living there and they may pay your travel as well. But for this one, we paid for our own travel, paid a nominal amount to stay in this beautiful apartment. The place was called Chateau Saint-Pierre de Magin, which was, I didn't look it up properly. I knew it's in the south of France. But when closer to going, I looked it up and it was like, this is in the Luberon. This is supposed to be the most amazing part of the south of France. And it was really beautiful.
It looked gorgeous. I had a peek at the website. It looked fancy.
And they're really committed to the arts. I said I would send her some prints of drawings that I did while I was there. But the lady, Wendy, who owned it, was very relaxed about it. And they just liked having artists around. It's part of their vision.
That's lovely, isn't it? No expectations. So you didn't have to write a proposal of what you were going to do while you were there or anything like that.
I did write a proposal, but I tried to keep it quite loose, saying what I really wanted to use a residency for was not to come up with a specific end product, but I felt duty-bound to write that, which in retrospect I didn't really need to do. All I wanted to do was start drawing. And by being there, I actually drew every day after 2 or 3 years of watching people on Instagram doing drawing challenges.
Do you mean drawing from life?
Just drawing from life. Yeah, just drawing for the love of it. And I haven't done that, I don't know, could probably say 30 years to just rediscover drawing practice. And I practice, but just to sit and observe and draw a tree for no reason except that you love looking at it was a revelation. And drawing slowly, I suddenly started to draw anti-art club approach. It's like, you've got all the time in the world on this tree and you've got a very sharp 2B pencil.
Was it a black wing?
It was a black wing.
Oh, gorgeous.
God, I love doing it. Just drawing like that felt like coming home.
Yeah, with
really
no expectations.
And then I kept feeling guilty, thinking, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I should be doing the thing I said I would do, which was this map. So I'd put together a travelling art kit of digital stuff and analogue materials, bloody heavy. Oh, yeah. And then I got my laptop up, set it all up. I'd got my lightweight Wacom pad. But doing a map was like, zooming in, zooming out. And it's like, just give me my big old cinema screen. I cannot do this on a laptop. And that led me to finally try Procreate. So I've joined you. I finally learnt Procreate, which was just a revelation. Yeah. I've only had the iPad for 3 years and had Procreate downloaded.
I loved it. You were messaging us on our Good Ship WhatsApp group saying, what brushes shall I get? What are the brushes I should find?
Yeah,
Did you try out lots of brushes?
I bought Viv's brushes.
They're great,
I love them.
If I could load them, they'd probably be quite good. So I need another lesson in how to help load brushes into Procreate.
I'll help you with that.
Will you?
Yeah, the Viv Mildeberger brushes. Yeah. Oh, they're amazing. By the way, Vivian Mildeberger, this is completely off topic, but I have to tell you about it. I accidentally discovered the other day that she has a brilliant other Instagram account where she lifts massive weights wearing fantastic big like wrestler's pants and boots like an old-fashioned wrestler would wear, and she lifts these huge weights.
Please
so I already
share.
thought she was the coolest woman in the world, and now my mind is just blown. She's incredible.
That's amazing.
Sub-niche, isn't it? Illustrator plus weightlifter.
Sarah Dyer does it as well. I think there must be a thing. I think we're going to have to take it up, otherwise we're going to be left behind.
We're getting left behind already. Yeah, we need to start with the weights.
Menopausal women, you've got to build muscle, and you should only be doing weight bearing. I could barely get this microphone
into its holder this morning.
It was hard, in your defence. That's going to be like 50 kilograms of effort.
Anyway, back to your Procreate adventures.
Oh, yeah.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, and I just need to get some better brushes. You recommended Joel Stewart drawing.
The Joel Stewart ones, the Vivian Mildeberger ones. There's loads of those good ones in the Retro Supply Company.
Oh, yeah, them too. So anyone's got any recommendations for brushes, but those are our three.
I like the free one, the Studio Pen. There's a lot you can do with that.
What's that?
On Procreate, it's called Studio Pen, and it's a lovely round pen.
Yeah.
And you can adjust them behind the scenes. You can alter them. Have you gone into the settings and fiddled with them?
I used to do that in Photoshop. I thought I was a genius. That was 10 years ago, till everyone else said, now I can make my own brushes. And also, Kyle Stewart, if you're out there, please hurry up and get the Procreate brushes downloaded, because that's what I used to use in Photoshop.
Do you mean Kyle Webster?
Is it? Yes, Kyle Webster. Sorry,
I don't know who Kyle Stewart is, but he's probably in trouble as well. You're getting up with Joel
Stewart because he's got some good brushes.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Kyle Webster's going to be doing all the brushes for Procreate, as he's jumped from Adobe to that. So
that's exciting.
It was supposed to be out now, but anyway.
I can't wait to see the work you've been making. Have you made it because you knew it was going to stay private, and did that take the pressure off? Or are you going to allow us to look at some of the stuff you did?
Tania looks scared.
I just crossed her arms over her body.
I've done some pictures of the chickens at the farm. Chickens, they're always a joy to draw, aren't you?
Yeah, I love a
chickens and trees, much easier to draw than humans, because it shows when you've got it wrong on a human.
Nobody knows what chickens should look like.
And they're so inspiring. So, what I like about not committing to anything at that residency is that you come out doing what you really need, as opposed to what you thought you would sell you on a residency. And some of the application forms for these different places are very demanding, and some of them are really easy. So if you go onto places like artistresidency.net, I think it is. I'm going to put all this in a Substack list, which is another issue. But I'm going to do some resources for different residencies you can apply for. But I didn't know there were illustrators residencies. I just thought there were fine artists or musicians or sculptors. But when our local Berwick creative group, thanks to James at the Maltings, invited a few people like Anna Chapman and Morag, who had done residencies before, to talk about them, it really opened my mind. And I'm like, you can just do day residencies in your locality. You can travel to them, or you could do it in a museum. You can do ones that you pay for or ones that you're fully paid for. So there's all these different varieties. But just to say that they are open for illustrators, there's lots of picture book residencies that are for either collaboration with writers or research based, just where you want to think up the story and not necessarily leave going, hurrah, I've got a portfolio of stuff. You've just thought it through and you're ready to work. So
the 1 day residency, that sounds good. Could do a 1 day one.
I love that, Katie.
Boom, done, next.
I was just thinking 6 weeks.
6 weeks in the south of France.
How long was your residency?
It could be as long as we wanted, but it was for 2.5 weeks in the end. And then, of course, I turned up sick and didn't work for the first week.
This is the Goldilocks thing again, isn't it? I want to do 1 day.
Yeah.
Tania's 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 weeks for Helen.
Yeah.
It's exactly that. It's our time span. Yeah.
But I noticed you delicately skimmed over the Substack thing there, Tania. You haven't got away with it.
Substack is like Procreate, something I've been promising to do
Maybe
for
you
years.
need another residency.
Yeah, just to learn that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But Helen, how am I going to learn how to do a Substack, set up my Substack really simply from the session you gave in the business course? Was that a like, here you go, don't fuss?
It wasn't so much a how-to because that's all kind of in the settings in the background. It's kind of boring. But if you want a how-to, I'll sit with you and show you how to write your first one and what all the settings in the background
Would you?
look like. Yeah.
Does everyone else want to come as well?
Yeah, we
should record this. We
should.
should record this. Why not?
Yeah.
Because the Substack thing in the course is more about what you would write about, how often you would do it.
We talked about
what are
money.
the benefits, how to earn money. We talk about money, all of that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
there's not a how to do
Just
it with all
set
of the
up.
different settings in the background. But we could do that.
Maybe.
You need to give the people what they want, Tania. Because somebody yesterday tagged me and Helen in a comment, and they were like, Helen and Katie from Good Ship are on Substack, but not Tania yet, I don't think. And I replied saying Tania is aloof and mysterious, but we're
She's
working
our
on
mysterious guru, isn't
yeah,
she?
yeah. And I said that
AKA
you'd
lazy.
be making noises like you might do a Substack.
I've been ruminating over what would be interesting enough to say. And yeah, and I always think I don't like writing, I prefer talking. So I've started to record them directly.
That's a brilliant way of
Into-
doing it. It's a brilliant way of doing it. Do you know, I've started doing that with friends. I'm so sick of typing out into my phone.
WhatsApp, yeah.
People that I want to see, my brother, my sister, close friends who don't live near. I think you do this,
I do.
Tania.
Always
I've
do
just started voice
voice-
recordings, and sometimes they're as long as a podcast, and they record the same back, and
Yeah.
I love it so much.
It's so nice.
And I was thinking I should just be doing this for Substack because it's such a lovely way to do it without the pressure of putting it through Grammarly and getting all my spelling sorted out.
And it's also your true voice, because I think
Yeah.
the moment I start writing, I overthink it so much. I jump back and forth between sentences, leave all the words, let alone my typos. That's bad enough. But just the reinserting and editing, and in the end, it's just a patchwork quilt of a mess. So I think it's easier to speak as you find, put it straight in there, and then you'll actually sound like a human being and not something that you put through ChatGPT, because you've over-fiddled with it. But one question, would I have to do it every week if I said I was going to do a Substack?
No, definitely. I don't make promises about how frequent mine will be because I don't want that pressure, because as soon as I give myself that pressure, I rebel against it. Even though I said it, I rebel against myself, obviously.
You do
So,
post
no.
quite consistently, though.
I try to post almost every Sunday. I post just a chat about what's going on in
I
our house.
look forward to your Sunday house chat, because I know when I get up on a Sunday morning and have my coffee before everyone's awake, I know, I can read Helen's
that's
Sunday
nice.
chat.
That's what I hope.
Me too.
That's what I hope people just think, oh, there's a bit of kind of boring business of a Sunday there. Let's have a look what she's eating for breakfast. It's very low key.
But you have Sunday House, and then you have
Then I do,
hardcore picture book advice for
chat
illustrators.
is every Thursday, but I'm in the middle of a deadline at the moment. And I just can't get my head around it. So I don't promise it.
And no one minds.
Nobody minds. And if they do, they just leave. And then when I'm back again and I'm doing it frequently again, people come back. So I'm just happy. It's usually I've got around 150 paid people. And if I don't post for a while, actually, I don't lose many people because they don't notice.
Yeah.
But then I'll post again and they remember me and they unsubscribe.
that does happen. I've noticed that. It's like if I post too much, people leave because they're like, being reminded that they're paying for something.
Exactly.
So I don't follow how many people are signed up too closely because it's not really relevant. People come and go and that's their business and they must do that. And I do that with other people.
Yeah. This is guilt and shame based. So I just want to make sure I'm not going to screw up
As
or
long as
feel
you
guilty.
don't
No one's
promise
going to
it.
make me feel guilty.
No, as long as you don't promise it. Just don't promise it.
And if you're going to switch on paid, are you going to make it a paid thing?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it.
Because that's the general advice from Substack, is just switch on paid and then you don't and it's on.
Switch on paid right from the start, because there'll be people who would just really like to support you and want to buy you a coffee every month.
Yeah.
So you just switch it on. But I made the big error of switching mine on right at the start and not specifying that I don't take, that it's pound sterling. And so people were paying me in dollars. And then when I tried to recoup it, I couldn't.
No.
Yeah, so you have to choose what currency you
that's a tricky
want
thing,
it
isn't
in. Yeah.
What about this other thing that I think about? Since Substack has got bigger and bigger, aren't people just, I can't deal with another Substack? Everyone's at it. It's
Yeah, but
everyone's got a podcast, everyone's got a Substack.
I don't feel like that's the case because I have a big cull. I don't know about you, Katie, but I see how many people are arriving in my inbox, and when it feels a bit full, I have a bit of a cull.
Yeah.
And I only pay for a few at a time, and if I decide to subscribe to a new one and pay for it, I get rid of an old one. So it's up to the person on Substack how many people's Substacks they want to read. And so I try not to follow too many. I really carefully select who I want. Yeah. And I get rid of any that they've been arriving in my inbox and I find I'm not looking at them. I just unsubscribe. No,
good solid digital housekeeping tips from Helen.
I don't think people are overwhelmed because it's just so easy to choose very specifically which ones you want. And on Instagram, it is overwhelming. You just scroll. So I follow far too many people, plus Instagram suggests people at me all the time. The great thing with Substack is you very carefully choose who you want in your email box. So you're much more dedicated to hearing that person, and the people who follow you specifically want to hear from you. You know what I mean?
It's like inviting people into your house. Okay, you can actually come into my email box rather than just the passive consumption of scroll media.
Yeah.
Substack's helped me feel much better about unsubscribes and things like that. Because I think I used to be really sensitive to noticing numbers go down and be like, oh, when I posted that, loads of people left, what have I done? But now I feel like because of that thing, if people are just curating what they listen to and what they like, I feel more like I've got a healthy attitude towards the people who are still subscribed. Amazing, that's so cool, like they're here and they're really choosing to be there.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I think, maybe because there have been so many like dips and roller coasters and things.
Do you think it's something that's easier to do than Patreon? Because you see a lot of Patreon burnout, don't you?
I see more Patreon burnout than Substack. I think you'd be in danger of getting Substack if you promised a weekly in-depth I don't know.
Yeah, if you've made promises with clear guidelines. I
think if you don't set up the promises too much structure, or for me, for my kind of brain, I don't want to make that promise because I'll rebel against it. Whereas if I don't promise very much, I feel great when I'm sending it because I feel like they're getting more than they expected. And I feel good about
nothing.
it.
Yeah, look at all this.
But I do hear a lot of Patreon people feeling burnt out. And I always wonder about that because with Patreon, the more stuff you make, the bigger catalogue you've got. So like I've not done Patreon, but I would imagine as you go on, there's more and more back catalogue, so you could take the pressure off a bit. But I don't hear people talk about it like that.
Yeah,
I hear people say, I just feel like I need to keep creating.
Yeah. But I think the thing with Substack is you build up an archive, don't you? And the whole thing with Substack is it pays creators. So like you're saying, you're busy with a book deadline, and Substack's just chugging along in the background and you don't have to do anything.
And I don't mind if people leave. If I'm too busy and I'm not posting anything, I don't mind if they leave.
I feel like that's how it should be. Like it's supporting you, and if you want to do stuff because it feels fun, you do. And if you don't stuff it, it's fine. People can leave if they don't like it.
It does seem that, again, as an outsider, not having used either as a creator, but it does seem that the obligations are different on Patreon, and that's where people are getting tripped up because they feel locked into content provision. Whereas Substack sounds like my kind of relaxed show. I'll be all right
There are
there.
people who promise very specific things, and quite a lot. But I'm guessing those people, that's their full-time job.
Yeah.
Are your Substack with the jobs? That's very frequent. You've probably got that set up easy to send out. Do you promise?
So this is the thing, I don't actually promise. I just say I'll share jobs. But then obviously I can't control really how many jobs are coming in. So it's just been the bank holiday, so it's been really quiet. But part of me in the back of my mind is like, oh, there's not been any inquiries to put on the jobs board. This has been a few days. But before the jobs board, I had paid switched on. And I think there was 5 people paying, even though I wrote every 2 months one article that was free anyway. So people do just want to pay because they want to pay. And I even wrote to these people and I was like, what do you want? Like, why are you paying me? It's really disconcerting. And they were like, oh, just what you do. And that was nice.
Yeah, there are people who sign up like that. And there's also, there are options people can sign and pay. Was it weekly and then monthly and then for a year subscription? I've forgotten. There's different tiers.
I think it's monthly and yearly and then founding.
The founding members are the ones that can pay a really big fee. So you can just put, if you like to, you could pay me £100, £200, £300.
Yeah. See, I've set up my founding one as a way of getting a one-to-one portfolio review.
It's a good
So that's when I
idea.
really specifically promise something, that we're going to have a 1 hour session together.
Yeah.
And I'll look at all your stuff.
I've set mine
That's
up saying,
brilliant.
if you do this, you are mad, because I will not be supplying a single thing. And I have no idea whether anybody has, actually. I should have a look.
You should.
There
Somebody
might be a few
in there.
crazy people in there, I don't know.
Hello to Helen's founding members.
Yeah. Who somehow joined just to get told off. Okay, that's part of the this summer's promises.
I just want you to put a photo on your
Just do
thing.
it, yeah.
Because I unsubscribed from you the other day, because I
Did
thought,
you?
why am I following people with no photo on their thing? They're not taking this seriously. I unsubscribed and then thought, where's Tania? So I found you again, but you had no photo, and I thought, oh, that's it. I got rid of you because you didn't have a photo.
I thought it was just a listening account. I didn't realise it was a content creator kind of thing. I just thought, passively sitting on the side here watching what happens. No, I'll go and put a photo for you. That'll be a good start.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
it.
we'll have our meeting
Yeah.
and we'll record
Yeah.
you teaching me
Yeah.
how to set one. That's going to be a winner.
But I have to say, I'm not an expert at the behind the scenes stuff. I'll just share what I've figured out.
That's exactly what I need to know. The bare basics,
Yeah.
just enough to get by.
You don't have to be an expert
No,
either, do you?
it's like anything. It's like Photoshop or anything. As long as you know the bits you need,
Yeah.
that's enough. isn't
Exactly,
it?
the artist
Probably,
approach to it. Yeah.
Oh, the other thing I was going to say is, because some of it is free to everybody and some of it is behind the paywall, if I haven't got time to post some weeks, I just open something from behind the paywall.
Oh.
So I just send out a new Substack to everybody saying, this was behind a paywall, but I'm making it free to everybody now. Just so there's an extra way of making content if I've got a deadline.
Yeah.
Just to open the gates for everybody.
What's your favourite Substack that you receive?
Oh, I follow this one called One Word. This guy chooses one word every month and he makes a film about it. And they're always really good subjects. Like one was video, and he had a really lovely wandering chat about videos that his dad used to take of him when he was a little boy. And it was just a chat about his memories of his dad with lots of this lovely old 1980s video recording. Then he decided to visit the last remaining video rental Blockbuster store in the US.
Oh, wow.
It's only one.
I don't know why it's still called Blockbusters. I've forgotten, but it maybe was the last Blockbusters. Maybe it's changed its name now. He went to visit this guy, and it still runs this video rental shop, and it's massive.
Wow.
But the guy was just like, it's about community. I have nice people who come in here. I like chatting to them. And he's telling us all about the gorgeousness of videos and why renting from a shop, you've just got a tiny selection. You've maybe rented it 10 times before, but you take it again just because of the comfort factor. And he's my favourite. He's called One Word.
Wow.
Yeah, I love
What an
him.
elemental idea. I love the simplicity of it. Yeah, it's like kind of early hashtag challenges or something, isn't it? Just, I will take this one word and this will be my response.
And it's always a personal response. It's really interesting. I also like Garbage Day, who we've talked about sometimes.
I like
Garbage Day explains the internet to a person in her 50s who knows her way around a bit, but really loves to hear about all the weird stuff going on the internet that I'll never see.
It's become obviously much more political now because it's from the US. So it's looking at the internet, digital iterations of it, and how politics mixes up with it, which you can only stand for a few weeks. Do you think I'll come back in 6 months or so? See if someone sorted the world out. He breaks it down
into a couple of paragraphs though, so I can get my head around it.
Yeah,
I really like that. He does a lot about AI and weird phenomena.
My brain has just bunched these together to come up with what I think is a genius idea. Can I try it out on you?
Yeah,
please.
Right. It's a hashtag drawing challenge based on what 3 words.
Ooh.
So, you know, those crazy addresses you get where they just bunch, you know, the what 3 words, and it tells you if you're in a field, your location is named by porridge, motorbike, grandma. And that will be your what 3 words. And so you could do imagery based on what 3 words. You could do your address.
Would you go somewhere and find the words?
Yeah.
This is a nice spot. What words is this?
What bizarre haiku has what 3 words come up with for me?
I really like it when you're typing on your phone and it predicts what word you're going to say next.
I love that too.
I love that so much, and I have loads of fun just letting it predict until I've got a paragraph of crazy predicted. I always think there must be a way of using this. How could we use this?
We could do a
It's so
podcast
fun.
using it.
It's just brilliant.
I love it as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to have to retrospectively slap a copyright on my what 3 words hashtag. If anyone does that,
it's
I will
Tanya's
I'll
Substack
find you.
idea.
We'll all find you and hunt you down. Just wait on it and we'll launch
We'll
it
all
soon.
be weightlifting by then as well.
Yeah. I'm really disappointed about the one word thing because I was getting excited that somebody just sends you a message with one word in it.
That's the Substack.
But I love that
I
idea.
was
That
like-
idea is brilliant.
I'd be like, what's the word this week? And then
What
they'll
is
just
it?
email me lampshade.
I love that. I'd
Okay.
be happy with that.
I would as well. I would subscribe.
Yeah.
I'd be happy
Yeah.
with that. Would you just draw it and send them a picture back?
Not even
No,
that,
that's
just
too-
a word.
too elaborate.
That reminds me of that fantastic podcast I got into with Harry Hill.
But it's just noises.
It was just noise. It was just like, it's just like, I will be here. I'm going to press record while I'm working in my office or on my drive somewhere. And at some point during this podcast, I will make a noise. and an hour could go by of me just listening with nothing. And then he'd blow a raspberry. You know? I'd be like, yes!
We got the noise.
But then I would listen to the end just in case anything else.
Even though you'd had your noise.
Yeah, I'd had the noise.
What
And
a
nothing else happened.
What
It was
waste of our
brilliant.
time, yeah.
I loved it.
Should have been called that Scottish thing. You'll have had your noise.
But what we did wasting our time answering questions and
I
talking, we
know.
could just be.
Oh, I love these ideas. They're
Make
so
it up.
good.
Katie, what's your favourite Substack in an attempt to stay on track?
I'll subscribe to so many. I'm trying to think if there's any. Oh, my mind's just gone blank.
Do you subscribe to our good shipper, Tara?
Yes.
Tara.
Yeah.
Tara,
Tara
I've forgotten
Ford.
your
Yeah,
name.
something.
It begins with a T.
Yes.
I love hers.
She has like a. I'm really sorry. We'll remember and we'll put it in the underneath the podcast. But it's like a kind of visual
like a
diary, comic strip. But sometimes just one image with a bit of writing. Sometimes a few. Her drawings are really lovely and her observations are just brilliant. Usually something that's gone on this week. She did one where she imagined herself as. Was it different dinosaurs? So there were self-portraits as either extinct animals or dinosaurs. It was so
good.
funny. Yeah, they're good. I really like hers.
I really like Adam Ming's. Like maybe not. I don't subscribe to his posts. I don't see them in my inbox, but I do see his notes, and I really like them. They pop up.
Yeah, he chats about illustration every day. He's
Every
really
day.
on it with Substack.
Yeah, I think I
really
find that
on
so
it.
inspiring. Like how consistently every day.
It scares me.
Yeah,
'cause it
that's
makes
it.
me feel like,
It's a lot.
He's doing it really well. I'll just avoid that. He's doing it
Exactly.
too well.
I feel like you find it inspiring. I'm like, oh, I'm a complete failure. I can't look. That man makes me feel a disaster. How counterproductive.
There is a fine line, isn't there, between inspiration and
Yeah.
devastation.
Yes.
I like Tor Freeman.
Oh yeah,
She makes me
I
laugh
love
so
her.
much.
She's brilliant,
You,
isn't
I
she?
don't know much about her. I just know that her Substack's a little sort of cartoon sequences,
Really
tales
quirky,
of a
brilliant comic
middle-aged
illustrator.
lady.
Yeah,
and the weird things that happen to her. And her humour
Yeah.
is so good, and it comes through the pictures so well.
Yeah, she flies her freak flag.
There's someone else I follow like that who's a comic artist,
who would this
and
be?
she does drawings about like motherhood and is in like the New Yorker and stuff.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure I follow this person.
It's nearly there. It's like just behind a couple.
Do you know who's going to be great though?
Who?
Tanya Willis.
Tanya Willis, yeah. And if you
Oh,
get
I
really worried, just do the one word idea.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I could alternate,
Pants.
couldn't I? Which would give me a breather.
And
I think what's her Carson Ellis though always.
Oh,
That's
oh,
such
yeah.
a lovely
Slowpoke.
Substack.
Slowpoke. Yeah,
And
she's
it's-
good.
She's so relaxed in it about her work and her life.
Oh,
And
I really love. He's a picture book maker, Bob Shenanigans. Yeah, Bob Shea. He writes one called Bob Shenanigans, and it's absolutely brilliant. It is such dry, fantastic humour. One was all about how he milks children for their ideas, and it was written so dry. It was absolutely brilliant. I really recommend following him. He's
Well,
very
we've
funny.
given a good list. Have you just remembered one, Katie? You look like...
No, I've just touched my microphone.
You've
and
broken
it's
your
fallen
microphone.
off the table.
And now you've got to hold it.
Now I've got to hold
We've got
it.
20 more minutes of this. Don't be making technical
So I look like I'm about to
sounds.
say something really pertinent, but I'm actually just holding them.
That's a good place to end it before Katie gets cramp in her wrist.
Yeah.
We didn't
Right.
go back to the residencies. Did we talk about everything we wanted to about your residency?
Yeah, I'd
that was
just
to
be
tease
wagging
them
on.
because your Substack's going to be so incredible.
I'm in the tube now, aren't I? By saying this,
Yeah.
I'm actually committed. Okay, I'm going to
No
do
pressure,
it
but you have to do it.
when I get the lesson off Helen, and then it will be forthcoming with specific names for places that love illustrators and would give you a residency. But yeah, it's just great to slow down your drawing, open your mind, relax, find out what you really want to do.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.